know about y'all, but I absolutely loved Heath Ledger in The Knight's Tale. Now, most of you, a lot of you probably know him from The Joker, and honestly, it's one of those things like seeing him in The Joker and thinking about the fact that this young, boyish, blonde-haired, curly-haired boy that I saw in Knight's Tale when I was a much younger boy at the exact same time. Absolutely loved the movie. Thought it was great. Thought it was so much fun. I love his heroism. I love his chivalry in the movie. The fact that he will put his own ego, or he won't put his own ego before the love of this woman that he has, that he's trying to court, like that he intentionally was like, fine, this is what you asked. You want me to prove that I will put my ego down for the sake of your hand and your heart and all this sort of stuff. Like, it's a wonderful story. It's absolutely beautiful. The cast and the crew are great. They're spot on. They were hilarious. All of his friends that he has around him are absolutely grand. The guy that they have as the orator, I can't remember his name. He was the same guy that played Vision in the MCU. Absolutely loved it. And Jarvis, of course, did the voice for Jarvis as well. Absolutely love that actor. He did some great orating speeches for the main character in this movie. I mean, just all around a fun, family-friendly, wonderful story with a lot of great humor and a lot of great fun. And it's just a good movie set in medieval times. It's just how you do a period piece just perfectly, with a comedy and a romance, with not too much, with plenty of comedy and just enough of romance to make it enjoyable for absolutely everybody. Well, boys and girls, there were plans over there at Netflix to do a gender-swapped version of A Knight's Tale because, yes, a woman in armor during that period of time, going out there and participating in all of these trials and all of these, all of this kind of stuff out there that they got involved in, all of these competitions, would make complete and total sense at the time. Well, boys and girls, color us shocked there. It didn't last because that silly, ridiculous, and completely unprecedented, foolish idea has now been shut down. Gender swapped A Knight's Tale sequel shut down by Netflix's algorithm. Shout out to John F. Trent over at That Park Place. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe, comment down below, and follow if you have not already. A Knight's Tale director, writer Ben Helgen revealed that Netflix and the company's algorithm shut down a possible sequel for the hit film that starred Heath Ledger, Rufus Sewell, Paul Bettany, Mark Addy, Alan Tudyk, Shannon Husband, Byron Bejo, and Laura Fraser. Paul Bettany, that's the guy I was thinking of earlier. Oh, those guys were so good in this movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it all so much. In an interview with Inverse, discussing the revenge epic Man on Fire that he wrote, Hedlund was asked on a status update for a potential Knight's Tale sequel. He responded, "When we finished A Knight's Tale, we were already thinking about making the sequel as a pirate film. The plot revolved around Count Admar kidnapping Jocelyn and taking her to Constantinople. They end up as a galley slaves after their boat is captured by pirates. There's a prisoner on the boat who has a treasure map tattooed on his back, but he keeps getting flogged for indiscipline. Yeah, indiscipline. I don't think that's really the word you should have used there for that one, but okay, we'll go with it. The guys volunteer to take turns getting flogged in the prisoner's place so the map isn't erased. Sony didn't want to do it. Shame on you, Sony. That sounds like fun. It's probably all the flogging they didn't want to see after such a family-friendly, fun movie in the last one. When the initial idea was rejected, Edlund revealed that Paul Bettany and Alan Tudyk approached him with another version that sounds very similar to a gender-swapped remake, or in this case, a re-sequel. Hedlund shared there was another idea pitched to me that was all about William's daughter, Paul Bettany. Called me after he had dinner with Alan Tudyk, and the guy had an idea that William had passed away during a war. However, William has a teenage daughter who wants to joust, but she's not allowed to because she's a woman. Yeah, I wonder why, because she would literally have gotten the crap knocked out of her. She literally would have gotten removed from this planet if she would have jousted with a man. A lot of men did not live through those jousts, and you're going to put a teenage girl in the middle of it? Yeah, wonder why that didn't fly. She tracks down the gang and they agree to teach her how to joust, but she has to hide who she is. They cut her hair short and she speaks with a deep voice, etc. Pitched to Sony because they own the rights, and it seemed like they were interested in making it with Netflix, releasing it as a Netflix movie. My understanding is that Netflix tested the sequel idea through their algorithms, which indicated that it would not be successful. Color me shocked. Gender swapping a family favorite movie from back in the day, especially in the modern era with all of the gender swaps and all of the rest of the race swaps and all the rest of the baiting nonsense, didn't go over very well with the Netflix algorithm. A Knight's Tale seems to get more popular with every passing year. It's the strangest thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you do a follow-up about his son instead of about his daughter, you'd be able to pull something off like that. If you're unfamiliar with A Knight's Tale, it tells the story of William Thatcher, a peasant squire who poses a knight to compete in a jousting tournament. After the death of his master, Sir Ector, William takes on his identity with the help of his friends, Wat and Roland, as well as the traveling bard Geoffrey Chaucer, begins to compete in tournaments, winning fame and fortune. On the way, he falls in love with a noble woman, Jocelyn, who's smoking hot in that movie, and earns the respect of Count Admar. However, his deception is threatened to be exposed, and William must confront his own identity and the classism that has defined his life. And boys and girls, if you haven't seen the ending to that movie, if you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend you go watch it because the ending is absolutely epic and is beautiful and is wonderful, and I absolutely love it. So obviously the sequel and the Pitch Bethany chart follow the same plot beats as the original film, but instead of Thatcher doing it, it would be his daughter. Maybe it's possible that Netflix has figured out that audiences are not interested in gender-swapped reboots, giving the box office failure of films like Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Eternals, and Ocean's 8. Yes, indeed. And I think, boys and girls, I think we can all rejoice in the fact that this sequel, reboot, gender swap, whatever you want to call it, nonsense of A Knight's Tale, of a classic family favorite film out there that everyone should watch and should especially watch with their family out there, is not getting this BS going forward. And tell me what? Tell me you aren't happy about the fact that Netflix's own algorithm understands the fact that this stuff is not popular. It's basic math, boys and girls, and at the end of the day, 2 plus 2 still equals 4. If something is not successful at the box office, if something is not successful in the ratings, it's not successful. It doesn't matter how many accolades you get. It doesn't matter how many pats on the back you get at cocktail parties or award shows. At the end of the day, if it's not popular with the main street, if it's not popular with your average viewer out there, it's not popular, it doesn't make you any money, and it's going to fail. And guess what? Even Netflix's algorithm understands that, and now we can all rest assured a gender-swapped Knight's Tale will not be happening.